Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Tittle Tattle Tarot. It's Georgie. And in today's reading, I want to look at England's first queen, Queen Mary, and her pregnancies. So we are going back to the first one on April the 30th, 1555. And there's an announcement from the palace that Queen Mary had had a baby boy. She'd been delivered an heir. And this announcement went all over Europe really quickly. The problem was she hadn't. They'd really jumped the gun on this one. She was still in confinement, still waiting. There were wet nurses all around her. The crib was all ready, waiting. And days turned into weeks, and she was still waiting for the birth of this child. Eventually, in August, she came out of confinement with no baby. So what a terrible, terrible situation. So my first question is, how did she feel when she came out of confinement? When she came out of confinement and there's no child, there's no, actually I have a card here a couple of cards there that weren't turned over. I'm just going to mix them all in. I don't know how that happened, but they weren't actually. weren't turned over the right way. Oh, look, I've got another one there. Oh dear. Let's just check. Okay, let's give everything a mush up. So yes, how did she feel when she came out of confinement and, had to do that? Basically, what she probably felt was a walk of shame. Justice in reverse. So, well, how did this happen? This is ridiculous. It's so unfair. I was pregnant. How on earth did this happen? This is not just. It's not fair. There's no baby. There's no heir. So that's her first feeling. No justice, no heir. I'm going to put that right over there, out of the way. We don't need to see that. So that's how she felt. So what did people feel? What did the people, in the palace, what about the general public? What did they feel? Well, we've waited and waited. The Knight of Pentacles is slow and steady. 9 months is quite a long time to wait, isn't it? And the public had been waiting and, listening for news and waited. And, the announcement had been made. And then the announcement had to be detracted. And then the people in the palace had been waiting and waiting. This is slow, plodding energy. But when it's up the other way, well, everything stops. And this pregnancy, well, it got to 9 months, it got to 10 months, everything stopped. And everyone's thinking, well, where is this pentacle? Where is this growth of life? Where is it? Pentacles, you could see them as seeds, really. You plant your pentacle wisely and you grow a forest, or, you double it, you triple it, that's your investment. Well, where is it? And this is what people were thinking, where the hell is this baby? What happened? So what did happen? Did she know that she wasn't pregnant? Did she know? Did she actually know or believe that she wasn't pregnant? No, I don't think so. With the Knight of Swords, swords are pretty much a truth card. I think she went into this with real zeal and yes, this pregnancy, I'm going to have this baby, it's going to be the heir. And she was full of righteous, yes, truth, honesty. There's, pages of the, Knights of Swords. It's very quick as well. So she would have been absolutely delighted. And she would have told people, and yeah, there's no deceit in this card. It's a truthful card. She believed that she was pregnant. But did she ever feel this child move? Because they used to call it the quickening, where the baby would actually kick and move, and that was called the quickening. Did she actually feel a quickening? I don't see from this that she did. The awakening, that's a judgment card. And I think that her judgment started to be, there's something wrong. I think she knew something was wrong. Look at this figure crouched over the one on the floor. And I think there was a tremendous doubt in her mind. There was something going on with her that this is called the awakening. I think she became awake to the idea that she believed it was a child, was dead, because there was no quickening. She hadn't felt it move in her belly. So I think this awakening, she slowly, as the months went by and there was no movement, I think this was her judgment was, I think this child's dead. But of course, you know, the expectation on her was so great that I think that she managed to put that all to the back of her mind. So what was it? Now looking back, people say that it could have been a pituitary tumor that caused these symptoms. So I'm going to dig down here. A pituitary growth or tumor. We've got the star in reverse. The star in reverse is like a healing card. And it's a card that, you know, you shine a light on a topic. And I think that if it had been this way up, I would have suggested, you know, you're shining a light on a problem and, you know, yes, we can all say, that is what it was. No, the star in reverse isn't a truth card. I don't believe that it was a pituitary tumor, although they do produce the same kinds of symptoms and ailments. So this is all about healing. So, you know, all those symptoms that she had, you know, the swollen belly, the irregular period or no period, all these different things that led everybody to think that she was pregnant. No, she wasn't. That's not where the light should be shining. She didn't have a pituitary tumor. So did she have ovarian cancer, perhaps? Was it a cancer of the womb in some way? Well, whatever she had, it was a huge burden to her. That doesn't tell me that it was ovarian cancer, but it was obviously going to cause her a tremendous burden in her life. And she didn't know. I mean, looking back, we don't know. But it was a tremendous burden. And I think that she probably felt the high priestess this way up. You can be very wise and say, understand and just sort of say, this is the universe's way. This is, you know, what's happening. People go through this. This is what the high priestess would say. But when she's up the other way, I almost see it as like witchcraft. I think a lot of people around her thought, my God, you know, what is going on with this woman? This is quite frightening that this belly can expand, and there's nothing there. And I think it could have been seen as like very sort of witchy, and I don't know that, but that's the kind of feeling that I'm getting from this. And she was burdened because I think people were looking at her sideways and sort of thinking, you know, my God, what kind of witchcraft is this? You know, that this belly grows and then there's nothing there. So there's another thing. There's something where, you know, the belly grows and it's not a tumor. It's not, you know, a cancerous tumor, but it's just like a growth of the placenta. And I think they call them moles. And these things just grow, but you do evacuate them. You do get rid of them. Was it something like that? Page of Pentacles in reverse. No, I don't think it was. I mean, for something to just carry on growing, there has to be something there to grow, even if it's not a life, even if it's a, you know, a mass on this, on her internal organs. If it's growing, you know, then the Page of Pentacles will probably be this way up. Something is growing and getting ready to come out. It's not. I don't believe it was that either. I don't think that it was this mass of cells, you know, that just grew, because plus the fact she would have bled an awful lot if that had happened, and she would have evacuated something, and there's no record of it. So I don't see that as being a choice of anything else that happened. So was it just purely a phantom pregnancy? Was there nothing there? Was there no tumor? There was no growth. There was no cancer. It was just a phantom pregnancy. 7 of Wands. Okay. And the Page of Cups. I think that it probably was. And, people looked at this, and I don't think phantom pregnancies were uncommon at the time. I think that, people did, they were known about, they weren't totally unheard of. And people were just looking at it and thinking to themselves, we've seen this before, and, being quite cruel about it. This is like looking through the door, isn't it? Looking into the confinements and thinking, getting ready to put the knife into someone, say something horrible. I think, and that was the gossip of the time, that, it was just a make-believe. It was one of these phantom pregnancies, and people were being very hard with their words about it, and very unemotional, very didn't give her much tender care or anything like that. People believed that, yes, it wasn't witchcraft. It was a phantom pregnancy, and they weren't backwards in coming forwards. They were, ready to tell anybody with their harsh words that this is what had happened, and they didn't show her any compassion, really. But what about those doctors that had diagnosed her as being pregnant? What about that? They believed it. Look, we've got the world card, they were so convinced. Look at this baby here. They were so convinced that she was pregnant. They'd looked and they'd seen a baby. Not that they'd done an internal exam. I don't think that would ever have happened. I think that she would not have had that happen. But, all the signs they saw, all the signs of pregnancy, and they believed 100%, in good judgment, that she was pregnant. So the doctors weren't to blame. Whatever it was, whatever kind of phantom pregnancy it was, or whatever it was, it mimicked a pregnancy so well. So now I want to know, what did Mary do after this? How did she handle her reign when all of this came out? How did she handle it when all of this came out? Let's go under there. Devil. I think this is when she got her reputation of being Bloody Mary. I think this is when she sort of suddenly became this real tyrant of a queen. I don't know whether she saw the lack of having a child, as a punishment to her for maybe not being harsh enough on the people who were, what would you call them, heretics. Maybe she felt that she hadn't been harsh enough on the heretics, so she became the bloody devil herself, and she just, really became very, look at that tower in reverse. She became the person that would burn the Catholics, burn the Protestants at the stake. And I think from these sad, sad losses of these babies, I think she saw that as God saying, you haven't been a good enough Catholic. And I think this is where, look at this. She was horrendous, wasn't she? That's her legacy as a queen, Bloody Mary, burning the Protestants at the stake and all the people that died. And I think this crushing tower, and she died actually shortly after another phantom pregnancy. So I don't know. Tell me what you know about this woman. Maybe it was some kind of tumor. Maybe that is why she died after the second one. Who knows, looking back, but I can certainly say that what she went through with those experiences sort of turned her personality into being that dreadful Bloody Mary that we know from history. So, poor woman, but yes, it brought out the worst in her, didn't it? And ultimately led to her death. So, there's another reading for you. Let me know what you know about Queen Mary, because as I say, I'm sure it's more than I know. And I'd be really interested in your comments and your thoughts about these pregnancies and what do you think they were. Anyway, I shall let you get on with your day, and thank you for listening. Bye-bye.